The sky over Earth was not the blue it once was. Clouds were black with smoke, and the sun was hidden behind a permanent haze. Cities that had once thrived with life were now ruins. Towering buildings lay in twisted wreckage, their windows shattered like broken teeth. Roads were cracked and torn apart, overrun with weeds and debris. The silence of the world was broken only by the distant hum of alien drones patrolling the skies, scanning for any sign of human life. In a hidden bunker beneath what used to be New York City, a man moved quietly, checking his weapons one last time. Commander Elias Vorn, the last human general of the Earth Defense Forces, felt a weight on his shoulders heavier than anything he had ever known. Humanity was gone, or nearly gone. Every city had fallen, every army destroyed, and every hope extinguished. Elias looked around the underground chamber. There were a few survivors with him, but their faces were pale, weary, and terrified. He had watched friends and family die over the past few weeks, one after another. The aliens, tall, armored, and frighteningly fast, had no mercy. They were not like humans. They didn't negotiate, they didn't feel compassion, and they certainly didn't retreat. "Commander," whispered a young soldier, barely 16. "They're closing in. The drones. They're right above us." Elias nodded. He could hear the faint thrum of the alien machines vibrating through the earth. "We don't have much time," he said. His voice was calm, almost steady, but inside he felt the same fear that gnawed at everyone else. He checked his watch. Only an hour remained before the drones would pierce the bunker walls. He walked to a control panel in the center of the room. The panel was old, dusty, but still functional. On it was a single red button, almost hidden beneath layers of warning signs and locks. Elias had never pressed it before. Only in the darkest hour when humanity was on the brink of total extinction would it be used. The young soldier gasped. What is that?" Elias looked at the button. "This is the last hope of humanity," he said. "The protocol to awaken the legendary super soldiers. They were built decades ago, stronger and smarter than any human. They were our ultimate weapons. We never thought we'd need them. Until now." The young soldier's eyes widened. "You mean we're going to fight with machines?" Elias shook his head. "No, not machines. Humans, better than any humans. They were enhanced, trained for everything. War, strategy, strength, speed, intelligence. But they've been asleep for too long. Only I can wake them." He took a deep breath and pressed the button. A low hum filled the bunker, growing louder, deeper, vibrating through the concrete walls. Screens flickered to life. Cylinders began to open, one after another, revealing figures lying in stasis. They were humans, but unlike any humans Elias had ever seen. Their bodies were muscular and perfectly formed. Their eyes were closed, but a faint glow came from beneath their eyelids. "They're alive," whispered another survivor. "Yes," Elias said, "and soon they will fight." Above the bunker, the alien patrols were closing in. Drones moved silently, their sensors scanning for heat signatures. They did not notice the sudden surge of power coming from below. They would soon learn that humanity still had a secret. Inside the cylinders, the super soldiers began to stir. Their movements were slow at first, then faster. Muscles tensed, eyes opened, and systems activated. They looked human, but they were far beyond normal humans. A voice spoke in Elias's mind, calm and controlled, yet filled with a strange human warmth. "Protocol awakened. Mission status, save humanity." Elias stepped back, astonished. "It's working," he whispered. "They remember." The super soldiers rose from their cylinders. Each moved with precision, their enhanced bodies perfectly balanced. One was tall and broad-shouldered, a master of combat. Another had a lean, agile form, perfect for speed and strategy. A third had enhanced vision and reflexes, while the last seemed calm, wise, almost like a human general. "Identify yourself," Elias said, standing tall despite the fear in his chest. "I am Sentinel Alpha," the tallest one said, his voice deep and resonant. We were created for this moment. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. We will fight. Elias felt hope rise in his chest. He had trained soldiers before, led armies before, but none were like this. These were the ultimate humans, forged in secret to defend the planet. And now, after decades of silence, they had awakened. Good, Elias said. Then we have work to do. Suddenly, the bunker shook. The alien patrol above had detected some movement. Small explosions rocked the tunnels. Dust fell from the ceiling. The survivors panicked. "Follow me!" Elias shouted. He led the super soldiers toward the exit, moving carefully through hidden tunnels. The soldiers were fast. Faster than anyone else. They moved without hesitation, dodging debris and sensors alike. Outside, the city was unrecognizable. Smoke filled the air, the streets were empty, and the alien patrols moved like shadows. Elias had not expected the super soldiers to move so quickly. They were like ghosts, unseen and unstoppable. "Target those drones," Elias commanded. In an instant, the soldiers split into formation. Alpha leaped high, landing behind a drone and tearing it apart with his bare hands. Another soldier moved like lightning, disabling several drone systems with precision strikes. The aliens had never faced anything like this. Their sensors could not predict the speed and intelligence of these super soldiers. Elias watched in awe. Humanity was not yet defeated, not while these warriors lived. But the victory was temporary. More drones appeared on the horizon. They were faster, stronger, equipped with new weapons designed to hunt humans more efficiently. The super soldiers stood their ground. "Remember," Elias said, "we are fighting not just for ourselves but for everyone who is gone, for every human who has fallen, for Earth." The super soldiers nodded. They were silent, focused, deadly. Each knew the stakes. Failure meant the end of everything. The battle began. The streets of New York became a war zone again, but this time, humanity had a chance. The super soldiers moved like shadows, striking and disappearing. Alien patrols fell one by one. Their technology was advanced, but it could not match human ingenuity combined with superhuman skill. Hours passed. The super soldiers cleared the city block by block. They rescued survivors when possible, using their strength to lift debris and carry the wounded. Humans who had given up hope now stared in disbelief, seeing these legends in action. Elias moved among them, coordinating attacks, giving commands. He felt alive again, something he had not felt in years. Humanity had a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance. As the last drone in the city fell, the sky began to shift. Alien ships appeared above, larger and more terrifying than anything on the streets. They were warships, bristling with weapons, preparing to wipe out the remaining human forces in one strike. Elias knew the worst was yet to come. This was only the beginning. The super soldiers turned to him, their eyes glowing, ready for the next challenge. "You will lead us," Alpha said. "We follow your command." Elias nodded. "Then let's show them that humanity is not finished. Not yet. Not ever." As the alien ships descended, the super soldiers stood tall in the ruined city, unafraid, unbroken. Humanity's legends had awakened, and the war for Earth was far from over. The last human may have seemed defeated, but in the shadows of despair, humanity's ultimate protectors had opened their eyes, and the world would never be the same again. The sky above the ruined city was filled with the thunderous hum of alien warships. Their shadows stretched across the streets, darkening the ruined towers below. But humanity had a new hope now, something the aliens had not expected. The legendary super soldiers were awake, and they were ready. Commander Elias Vorn watched from the top of a crumbling skyscraper. He could see the warships moving in formation, weapons glowing ominously. He turned to the super soldiers behind him. "Today, we take back what was stolen," he said. "Earth is ours. Remember, we fight for everyone who is gone, for every city, every family, every human life." Alpha, the tallest and strongest, nodded. "We understand, Commander. Our mission is clear. We protect humanity. We destroy the invaders." Beta, the agile one with lightning-fast reflexes, crouched on the edge of the rooftop. I can take the first wave. Their drones will not know what hit them. Gamma, the soldier with enhanced vision and strategy, scanned the approaching ships. They have numbers, but we have skill. We strike carefully, hit them where they are weak, and create chaos. Delta, the calm and wise one, spoke last. We must also protect the survivors. Humans are fragile, but their spirit is strong. We inspire that spirit, and that will give us an advantage they cannot understand. Elias felt a surge of hope. Humanity was not just surviving, they were fighting back. "Move out," he ordered. The super soldiers leaped from the rooftop, landing silently on the streets below. The aliens did not notice at first. Their sensors were tuned to detect normal humans, but these warriors moved like shadows, blending with the rubble, avoiding detection. Beta struck first. With the speed of a lightning bolt, he disabled a drone hovering above a collapsed building. Sparks flew as the drone fell to the ground, broken. Alpha smashed another drone with his bare hands, crushing it instantly. Gamma coordinated the attacks, directing the soldiers toward weak points in the alien formation. Humans hiding in the ruins peeked from behind walls, their eyes wide with awe. They had given up hope, believing they were the last generation. But these warriors, awakened from stasis, were something else entirely. Elias called out over the comm system. "Survivors, follow the super soldiers. They will lead you to safety." Tentatively, humans began to move, gathering into small groups and following the warriors. Some carried children, others grabbed whatever weapons they could find. The super soldiers moved with precision, clearing paths and eliminating threats before the humans even noticed danger. The aliens, however, were not slow to respond. The warships above unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, lighting up the city with deadly beams. Buildings crumbled under the attacks, and smoke filled the air. But the super soldiers did not panic. They moved with purpose, dodging attacks, taking cover, and retaliating with devastating force. Alpha grabbed a fallen beam from a collapsed building and hurled it at an alien walker below. The massive metal machine exploded into pieces. Beta darted through the chaos, cutting down drones with perfect accuracy. Gamma coordinated their movements, making sure no alien could flank them. Delta stayed close to the humans, guiding them to safety and keeping morale high. Hours passed, but the super soldiers did not tire. They were built for this, enhanced beyond any normal human limits. And yet, despite their strength, they showed care. When they saw a child trapped under rubble, they paused to lift it gently to safety. When they encountered injured humans, they guided them to safe zones, never leaving anyone behind. Elias watched and felt a strange mixture of pride and relief. Humanity had been on the brink of extinction, but now, for the first time in years, he saw hope. These warriors were not just machines. They were humans, in every way that mattered, with the courage, the compassion, and the strength to fight for the survival of their species. But the alien forces were learning. Their drones adapted, moving faster, coordinating attacks. Small squads of alien soldiers emerged from the wreckage, armed with energy weapons and advanced combat technology. The super soldiers faced their first serious challenge. "Stick to the plan," Gamma said. "Divide and distract. Focus on one group at a time. Keep the humans safe." Alpha nodded. "Understood." The battle became more intense. The super soldiers fought with precision and skill, but the aliens were relentless. Beta leapt from rooftop to rooftop, using his speed to outmaneuver the enemy. Alpha took on multiple opponents at once, his strength unmatched. Gamma analyzed the battlefield, giving commands that allowed the soldiers to exploit weaknesses. Delta moved among the humans, offering guidance and hope, his calm presence keeping fear at bay. Elias joined the fight, using his experience and tactics to coordinate human resistance. They set traps, used old weapons, and leveraged the ruined city to their advantage. Every small victory mattered. Every human saved was a victory against despair. As night fell, the super soldiers had cleared much of the city of alien presence. The humans cheered, their voices echoing in the ruins. Elias looked around and saw something he hadn't seen in years. Faces lifted in hope, eyes shining with courage. Humanity was not defeated. Not yet. But the war was far from over. The aliens were regrouping. From the horizon, larger warships appeared, bristling with weapons ready to crush any resistance. Elias knew that these were not simple patrols. They were the main forces. The battle for Earth had only just begun. "We've done well today," Delta said, his voice calm. "But this is only the first step. The enemy will come stronger tomorrow. We must be ready." Gamma nodded. "We need a plan. We cannot fight them head-on forever. We need strategy, intelligence, and coordination." Alpha clenched his fists. "We will adapt. We will fight. And we will win. Humanity cannot fall again." Elias turned to the soldiers. "We must show the world that humanity still has warriors, that we are not finished. We strike tomorrow at their forward base. We hit them hard, fast and smart. And we take back what is ours." The soldiers prepared for the next day, repairing their equipment, strategizing, and resting briefly. Humans gathered around them, asking questions, watching, and learning. They had not just seen power, they had seen hope, and hope was contagious. That night, Elias walked among the survivors. He listened to their stories of loss and courage. He saw the fear in their eyes, but also the spark of determination. Humanity was fragile, yes, but it was also resilient. And with the super soldiers awakened, that resilience had a chance to grow into strength. As dawn approached, the city was quiet for a moment. Smoke still rose from the ruins, and the alien warships hovered above, silent and ominous. But on the ground, humans moved with purpose. The super soldiers were ready. The survivors were ready. And Elias, for the first time in years, believed that Earth could be saved. The super soldiers gathered on the highest rooftop, overlooking the city. They were silent, watching the horizon, waiting for the alien forces to make their next move. Gamma spoke softly, almost to himself. "They underestimate us. They do not know the spirit of humanity. They do not know the legends are awake." Alpha added, "And they will learn. Today, tomorrow, and every day until Earth is free again. Humanity will rise." Elias looked at the soldiers and smiled. He knew the battles ahead would be harder, fiercer, and more dangerous than anything they had faced so far. But he also knew this. Humanity had one last chance, and with these legendary warriors at its side, that chance was real. The city below was scarred and broken, but it was not defeated. Humanity had fallen, yes, but now it had risen again in the form of these soldiers, perfected, enhanced, and unstoppable. And the aliens would soon learn a lesson they could never forget. The war for Earth had begun. The morning air was thick with smoke and dust, but for the first time in years, it carried a sense of determination. Commander Elias Vorn stood atop a ruined skyscraper, watching the horizon. Alien ships had retreated after the first fierce skirmishes, but they would return, stronger and more prepared. The super soldiers, humanity's ultimate defenders, moved quietly behind him, each scanning the ruins for threats. "Today we strike at their forward base," Elias said, his voice steady and commanding. "We hit them hard and fast. No hesitation. We take the fight to them." Alpha, towering and powerful, cracked his knuckles. "The enemy will feel our strength. They will learn that humanity cannot be broken." Beta, nimble and fast, grinned. "I'll lead the first strike. Drones won't even see me coming." Gamma, the strategist, unfolded a holographic map of the surrounding city and the alien stronghold. "They have fortified their positions, but they rely too much on numbers. We will use speed, precision, and intelligence to dismantle them." Delta, calm and wise, placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. "We must remember the humans, protect them first, and fight second. Their hope is our greatest weapon." The plan was simple in theory, but dangerous in practice. The super soldiers would divide into teams, infiltrating the alien base from multiple directions, while Elias coordinated the humans to sabotage key defenses. The mission was not only to destroy the aliens' forward operations, but also to inspire the scattered survivors to join the fight. The streets were silent as they moved, each step measured and purposeful. Broken buildings and collapsed bridges hid dangers, but the soldiers' enhanced senses guided them. Beta darted ahead, his movements almost invisible, scouting for patrols and traps. Alpha moved in the center, ready to crush any enemy that crossed their path. Gamma and Delta covered the flanks, analyzing and adjusting their strategy as new information came in. The first contact came sooner than expected. A patrol of alien drones moved through a narrow alley. Beta struck like lightning, disabling 2 drones with precision strikes before they could alert the others. Alpha smashed the remaining drone with one powerful blow, sending sparks flying. The battle was over almost as soon as it began. "Good," Elias whispered. "Keep moving. The main base is close." As they approached the alien forward base, they saw the full extent of the occupation. Alien towers, energy shields, and armored vehicles filled the area. It was a fortress built for war, and yet the super soldiers did not falter. They had faced impossible odds before and had emerged victorious. Gamma surveyed the base carefully. "Their defenses are strong at the front, but their rear is lightly guarded. That's where we strike." Alpha nodded. "Then we split. Beta and I take the front to draw their attention. Gamma and Delta move through the back and disable their communications and power." Elias agreed. "Move quickly. Every second counts. Humans are watching. We cannot fail." The attack began. Alpha and Beta charged forward, drawing fire from the alien defenders. Energy blasts struck around them, lighting up the sky with deadly beams. Alpha blocked one blast with his arm, crushing it before it could explode. Beta darted between cover, disabling drones and soldiers with precise strikes. Meanwhile, Gamma and Delta moved through the rear, unseen. They disabled communication towers, shut down energy generators, and sabotaged vehicles. The alien forces scrambled, confused and disorganized, unable to respond effectively to the simultaneous attacks. Humans hiding in nearby ruins watched in awe. They had never seen anything like this. These were not ordinary soldiers, they were legends, perfect warriors, and the embodiment of humanity's last hope. "Look at them," one survivor whispered. "They're unstoppable." Elias moved among the humans, giving commands and coordinating small groups to assist the soldiers. He felt a surge of pride and hope. Humanity was not finished. Not while these warriors fought. Hours passed. The alien base was in chaos. Drones were disabled, vehicles destroyed, and alien soldiers overwhelmed. Alpha and Beta moved through the battlefield like shadows, eliminating threats with ease. Gamma and Delta ensured the humans remained safe, guiding them to strategic positions and keeping morale high. Then, from the horizon, a new threat emerged. A massive alien war machine, larger and more powerful than anything they had faced. Its armor gleamed under the smoke-filled sky, and its weapons glowed with lethal energy. The super soldiers paused, assessing the situation. "This is no ordinary enemy," Gamma said, scanning the machine. "It's designed to destroy everything in its path. We need a plan." Alpha's eyes narrowed. "We strike together. No hesitation. We use everything we have." Elias took a deep breath. "We fight not just for today, but for every human who has fallen. We will not let them die in vain." The battle began. The war machine fired massive energy blasts, destroying buildings and scattering humans. Alpha charged head-on, dodging blasts and striking with unmatched strength. Beta moved with lightning speed, hitting weak points in the machine's armor. Gamma coordinated their attacks, directing humans to safe zones and identifying vulnerabilities. Delta stayed close to the civilians, keeping them calm and guiding them away from danger. Despite the machine's power, the super soldiers were relentless. They adapted to its attacks, using speed, strength, and intelligence to exploit weaknesses. Alpha ripped open a panel, exposing the inner mechanics, while Beta darted inside to disable critical systems. Gamma and Delta provided support, guiding the humans and ensuring the soldiers could focus on the target. Finally, with a combined effort, the war machine fell. Sparks flew, smoke rose, and silence settled over the battlefield. The humans cheered, their voices echoing across the ruins. They had witnessed the impossible. They had seen legends in action, and they had survived. Elias stood among the survivors, tears in his eyes. "We are not finished," he said. "Humanity lives. Today, we reclaim a small part of our world. Tomorrow, we will reclaim more. And one day, Earth will be ours again." The super soldiers gathered, their bodies battered but unbroken. They had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. They were not just warriors, they were symbols of hope, inspiration for every human who had thought all was lost. Delta looked at the horizon. "The aliens will return. They always do. But we will be ready. Humanity is stronger than they know. Our spirit cannot be destroyed." Gamma nodded. "We must continue. Every city we reclaim, every survivor we save, strengthens our position. We fight not just with strength, but with intelligence and courage." Alpha placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. "Lead us, Commander. We will follow. Humanity will rise again under your guidance." Elias smiled. "Then we march forward. Today, we have taken a step. Tomorrow, we take another. And we will never stop until Earth is free." As night fell, the super soldiers patrolled the reclaimed areas, ensuring safety and stability. Humans began to emerge from hiding, inspired by the bravery and skill of these legends. Communities slowly started to rebuild, small fires of hope igniting in the darkness. From above, alien warships hovered, observing the battlefield, assessing the strength of the enemy. They had never expected humans to fight back with such power. They had underestimated the super soldiers, and they would pay the price. Elias knew the war was far from over. Larger battles were coming, more dangerous enemies, and challenges that would test even the super soldiers' limits. But he also knew this. Humanity had a chance, a real chance, because its greatest warriors had awakened. The legend of the super soldiers spread quickly among humans. Wherever survivors gathered, they told stories of incredible strength, unmatched skill, and courage that defied fear. Hope spread like wildfire. Humanity had fallen, yes, but it had risen again, stronger, smarter, and united. The battle for Earth had begun in earnest. Cities would be reclaimed, aliens defeated, and humans would take back their world. The super soldiers led the charge, showing everyone that even in the darkest hour, humanity could rise, fight, and triumph. Elias looked at the horizon one last time that night. The alien warships glowed in the distance, ready for another assault. But for the first time in decades, he felt confident. Humanity was not finished. Humanity had the super soldiers. Humanity had hope. And Earth would remember. The morning sun struggled to pierce the heavy smoke that hung over the ruined Earth. Cities lay in devastation, and the alien presence remained strong. Yet, for the first time in decades, humanity stood tall. Survivors gathered in the reclaimed zones, guided by the legendary super soldiers. They were no longer hiding. They were ready to fight back. Commander Elias Vorn surveyed the battlefield from the ruins of what had once been a central communications tower. His eyes scanned the horizon, where alien warships and armored vehicles moved with deadly precision. Their numbers were overwhelming, but Elias had a secret weapon, the super soldiers. Alpha, towering and strong, stood beside him. "The enemy has fortified their main command center," he said. "It is heavily protected, but their structure is old. Vulnerabilities exist." Gamma unfolded a holographic map showing the alien positions. "Their defenses are strongest at the front, but the rear access points are weak. If we strike there, we can infiltrate their command hub and disrupt their operations." Delta, calm and wise, added, "We must also protect the humans, inspire them, guide them, and let them see that humanity is capable of rising again." Beta, quick and agile, cracked his fingers. "Let's make sure the aliens regret underestimating us." Elias nodded. "This is the final push. Today, we strike at the heart of the alien forces. Failure is not an option." The plan was precise. The super soldiers would lead the attack, breaking through the outer defenses. Human survivors would sabotage supply lines and help in strategic diversions. Elias would coordinate from a command point. adjusting tactics in real time. The soldiers moved first, leaping over rubble and debris, disappearing into shadows. Alien patrols were caught off guard. Alpha crushed a drone with one powerful swing, while Beta darted around, disabling alien soldiers before they could respond. Gamma coordinated attacks, using strategy to exploit weak points, while Delta guided civilians to safety, keeping their spirits high. As the soldiers advanced, they encountered the first real challenge, a massive alien war machine, larger and more advanced than any they had faced before. Its weapons glowed with lethal energy, and it moved with terrifying speed. "This is no ordinary machine," Gamma observed. "It is designed to destroy everything in its path. We must act quickly." Alpha stepped forward. "Then we strike together. Speed, strength, precision. We cannot fail." The battle erupted. The war machine fired energy blasts, destroying buildings and sending debris flying. Alpha leapt at the machine, dodging attacks and striking its armor. Beta moved like lightning, targeting weak points with precise strikes. Gamma analyzed the battlefield, directing human survivors to avoid danger and to assist in sabotage. Delta stayed close to civilians, calming them and keeping them out of harm's way. Hours passed. The super soldiers fought relentlessly, adapting to the machine's attacks and using every advantage their enhancements allowed. Finally, they discovered a hidden panel on the machine's side. Alpha tore it open, exposing its inner core. Beta disabled its systems with a precise strike, and the war machine collapsed in a shower of sparks and smoke. Human survivors cheered, their voices echoing through the ruined city. They had witnessed the impossible, super soldiers defeating machines that had once seemed unstoppable. For the first time, they truly believed that humanity could reclaim its world. But the battle was far from over. From the horizon, the alien commander appeared, a massive armored figure, towering over the battlefield with unmatched strength and cunning. Its presence radiated power, and its army moved in perfect formation. This was the enemy's leader, the one responsible for humanity's near extinction. Elias watched the commander's approach. "This is it," he said. "The final battle. Today, we end their reign and reclaim Earth." Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta prepared for combat. They had faced impossible odds before, but the alien commander was unlike anything they had ever encountered. His armor was nearly indestructible, his strength unmatched, and his tactics were lethal. The super soldiers moved forward, drawing the alien force's attention. The humans followed cautiously, inspired by the soldiers' courage but aware of the danger. Energy blasts lit up the sky, and the ground shook under the alien commander's massive steps. Alpha charged head-on, dodging blasts and striking with incredible power. Beta moved with speed, targeting weak points and distracting the commander. Gamma coordinated the battlefield, directing attacks and ensuring humans remained safe. Delta stayed close to the civilians, providing guidance and maintaining morale. The alien commander was powerful, but the super soldiers were relentless. They adapted to his attacks, anticipating his moves and exploiting every opportunity. Alpha struck with a combination of strength and strategy. Beta used speed to hit critical points, and Gamma and Delta ensured the battlefield was under control. As the battle raged, humans began to take more active roles. They sabotaged alien supply lines, rescued trapped comrades, and supported the super soldiers' efforts. For the first time, humans were not just survivors. They were participants in their own liberation. Elias observed and coordinated, making real-time decisions that turned the tide of battle. The alien commander roared in fury, realizing that humanity was not defeated, not now, not ever. Finally, after hours of intense combat, the super soldiers managed to isolate the alien commander. Alpha and Beta worked together, striking with precision and overwhelming force. Gamma directed civilians to safety while Delta maintained order among the humans. With a final, combined effort, the alien commander was defeated. His army faltered, disorganized, and leaderless. The remaining alien forces retreated, realizing that Earth was no longer theirs to conquer. The battlefield fell silent. Smoke and debris hung in the air, but the humans cheered. They had witnessed legends in action. They had survived against impossible odds. and they had reclaimed a part of their world. Elias walked among the super soldiers, pride swelling in his chest. "We did it," he said. "We've taken the first step toward a new humanity." Alpha looked at the horizon, his eyes glowing faintly. "The war is not over. There will be more challenges, more enemies, but humanity now has a chance, and we will be ready." Gamma nodded. "We have proven that even in the darkest hour, humanity can rise. We inspire, we fight, and we survive." Delta added, "And the humans have seen the truth, strength, courage, and unity. These are the greatest weapons we possess." Over the following weeks, the super soldiers continued to patrol the reclaimed areas, ensuring safety and stability. Humans began to emerge from hiding, inspired by their bravery and skill. Communities slowly started to rebuild. Fires of hope burned brightly across the planet, and the legend of the super soldiers spread far and wide. Elias addressed the gathered survivors in what had once been a city square. "We have faced the darkest hour and survived. Earth is ours to reclaim, not through fear or domination, but through courage, unity, and the will to survive." These super soldiers are not just our protectors. They are symbols of what humanity can achieve when we rise together. The humans cheered, raising their voices in unison. For the first time in generations, they felt that they could rebuild, reclaim, and thrive. The super soldiers stood beside Elias, silent and vigilant, knowing that their mission was far from over but proud of the victories achieved. From above, the remnants of the alien fleet observed silently. They had underestimated humanity's spirit and the power of these legendary warriors. The lesson was clear. Earth was no longer a planet to conquer easily. Humanity had risen, stronger and more united than ever before. Elias looked at the super soldiers, a mixture of pride and gratitude in his eyes. "You have done more than fight," he said. "You have inspired a generation, restored hope, and shown what it means to be human. The Earth will remember you." Alpha placed a hand on his chest. "We are more than weapons. We are guardians, and we will protect humanity as long as it stands." The survivors began the work of rebuilding, clearing rubble, planting crops, and establishing safe zones. Children played in the streets for the first time in years, laughter ringing out across the ruined cities. Humans had been on the brink of extinction, but now they had a chance to reclaim their world. Elias and the super soldiers watched over the humans, knowing that many battles still lay ahead. But the spirit of humanity had been reignited, stronger than ever. And as the sun rose over the ruins, it shone on a new Earth, one where humans and their legendary protectors would build a future together, free from fear and united in purpose. The last human may have seemed to fall, but humanity had risen again. Legends walked among them, hope burned brightly, and the dawn of a new era had begun. Earth was free, and humanity had shown the galaxy that its spirit could never be broken.